Hello people and welcome to watch yet another Carcassonne Champions League league stage match. This is the week 2 and we are gonna be here for an hour to an hour and a half roughly with a match between Matthieu Hingant and Martin Celinak, Martin Celinak of France versus Czechia. To which I would certainly believe Martin to have the upper hand here, given that he has that Martin is like consistently ranked at above like 650 to like 750, I believe, and and Matthew is at roughly about 500ish. Now, Matthew is the reigning national champion of France, so let's not ignore that fact. And of course, was repping the country in the World Championships on the past year. But still, I would say that he is might be relatively new actually to the competitive scene, although certainly not new to Carcassonne in general, since these players do have one game actually played between each other, but it has been since like 4 years ago, something in 2021. So certainly tells that even though these players haven't met each other all that much, then it does tell that both of these players have had multiple years of experience of the game in general. Hello Vika, nice to see you here. Now let's take a look at the first week results for both of these players. So which group is this? Is this uh, ha Earth Earth League? Yes. So Matthew at the moment at one win of one match, and Martin currently has suffered a loss for his opening stage of the league. And a win would be meaning quite a lot, especially for Martin at the moment. But we shall see how it turns out. Now, being the second week of play, we of course have this week plus three other weeks still left of the league stage. So every player is going to be playing 5 matches, and these are of course all a best of 3 matches. So you would be expecting to have to win at the very least 3 of your matches to be able to have like any chances at being in the top 12 and therefore having a seat in the playoffs. So how the system goes is that from both leagues, from Earth and Space League, the uh, final places 1 to 4 will get a straight seats in the round of 16, and the final placements of 5 and 12 of the league stage from both leagues will be getting tickets to the round of 24, from which they will then have an additional match to play to get into the round of 16. We should be starting in about a minute or so. As you can see, 5,000 games worth of experience for Matthew. And for Martin, I don't believe it's actually going to deviate from that by all that much. Certainly would be expecting him to have at about at least 3,000, like by the bare minimum. Not even that actually. I'm very surprised. Less than 2,500 games, which is I would say considerably little on this level of play. But good for Martin. Seems like he is a relatively fast learner. Okay, underway we are. Matthieu is the starting player. Starts off, well, actually, it doesn't start off with the 4 points. Starts off with either the road or the monastery. Whereas Martin does get the points for the city and is off to a early start. For the crossroad, though, what do you do actually? You don't really have all that juicy moves. Like you could, I guess, go over here to already restrict the monastery and the road, or you could go here to ensure that if Matthieu does get a crossroad, then also your road will get finished, which is what Martin decides to do. Now it's gonna be interesting to see whether Matthieu pulls the trigger on it and just let's say like forgives this 1 point on the road and maybe starts a city, albeit it would be slightly restricted, just for the sake of not being able to of not having to do anything onto this square later on, but he just decides to add a city cap onto his triple city here, which, I mean, sure, it makes sense. Like it prepares another monastery spot, and it's going to start making a threat out of the city. Although I really would not prefer to use the city caps onto this triple city situations, simply because I think it would be better to abide by the two city principle. But like for example, going over here, starting a city, then you can use all kinds of city tiles. You can use the extenders and city caps over here, triangles over here, triple cities over here, maybe even the quad city over here. And in this instance, if you have city caps, like yeah, you can like kinda use them, yeah, for like going over here, like progressing your city even further, making it like even more of a threat. But then you only have one city open, and then when it gets attacked, you're like, well, I should have started two cities, you know. Well, Dorito is drawn by Matthieu, and he continues on with the city project, to which Martin is making a sort of an attack, trying to let's say he's trying to wind up an attack, or just go here with the city cap, like basically whichever he gets first, to try and make it a bit more annoying to complete the city or to do something else. For example, now with this extender, it suits very finely with Martin, extending his city and restricting this side of the city for Matthieu, who gets a rather joyful tile, goes over here and starts a new city. And now he has successfully um, been able to utilize the two-city principle, being able to now use extenders and city caps over here and Doritos and triple cities over here. Well, mostly, because the situation has changed a little after this divider by Martin. So now road Doritos or triple cities with a road are really no longer viable to be used over here for Matthieu, as it would allow Martin to immediately block the city on its tracks. Something that what I would be expecting would be maybe even go over here. Still leave 3 tiles over here. Pre-builds a 4-point road, or just go over here as well. That's also fine. Just adds a point to the monastery. Maybe keeps another monastery spot over here. All is fine. Okay, hyper aggressive. Already, Matthieu decides to go for this in his eyes a 4-point road, which I can see his idea, but I don't think it's worth it. I think if you go for this road, I don't appreciate this idea at all. like if you go for this road, you never meeple this road, like never. It's just not really worth it because this square is controlling 2 of your features and 1 of green's. Now it's controlling 3 of red's features, and this square isn't particularly lucrative. Like it's not an issue on its own to have a city, or to have a city or a bunch of monasteries, depending on one square, but because those features score a lot. But when you have a monastery and 2 short roads depending on such a square, then it's not really like a viable option, like in most scenarios, because you're gonna be waiting for that one tile for most of the game, and it's not like a high impact tile unless you want to count the retrieval of 3 meeples as a high impact. Well, 3 of yours and 1 of your opponent. But also in this square, it can really easily get restricted even into another crossroad, making Matthieu need multiple of them. So I think he is very well looking for a lot of trouble by going here with a preemptive meeple onto the road. You can meeple that road after placing the crossroad. Yeah, that's also an option. But I think in most cases it should, with this efficient build-up logic, be the case that you go here, you don't meeple this, and then you go here with the curve, you don't meeple this, and only then you go here with the crossroad. So you pre-build the entire road, right? But this prioritization, this rushiness is really not good for your winning chances, I believe. Okay, well, a blocking move is going to come down from Matthieu. A good one of sorts. There's only 1 dagger to fit into this square in case it gets restricted into a dagger, from which Martin can certainly defend himself from, and should defend himself from. Because not only will he make this square entirely unblockable, but he will also still have 2 tiles to block this square. If he gets one of the 2 remaining city crossroads, he can still go here. He can still finish the city, finish the city, and grab either of the 3-point roads, or even go for a field, whichever he chooses. Because he meepled that straight, he didn't meeple the city cap. This one, yeah, but could be so, yeah. I mean, it was relatively difficult to restrict also. Yeah, but I mean, the city cap was already like slightly restricted anyway, so the fact that he didn't meeple it is fine. Also, because Matthieu needed the same kind of city caps over here and over here, it doesn't really hurt him as much that he doesn't meeple this city cap, which is already restricted towards a city plus field tile. Second monastery comes down from Matthieu and also from Martin, though Martin does not decide to go for the stacking, rather wants to leave this square for the, let's say, nuisance for Matthieu instead, which I can totally understand, especially with a 6-point spot over here and a nice city cap on his field. It's looking really, really tremendous stuff to be going on with Martin here. Still waiting for the crossroad, which I told you, like if he goes for setups like this, it's likely that he's going to be waiting for that tile for a long, long while. Attacks the city of Martin, which was rather juicy looking actually. Martin with the second road monastery could be going over here, just calmly taking away his meeple and starting a new monastery. Could be taking 2 points, although I think that would be quite weak. Could be going even over here, start a new monastery like this. But I think that like the fact that there is the city cap, I think Martin might be a little hesitant to drop his final meeple on this monastery, even though it would be looking juicy. So, and if he does so, if he does drop a meeple onto the monastery, it's gonna happen here because I guarantee Martin will want to definitely keep a meeple in his hand for this city cap. He could be eyeing on this square as well, but like again, he might be missing out on some points for city caps if he doesn't have a meeple in hand. And also like it, because it seems like Martin would like to block this square and have 2 monasteries blocked versus 1 monastery blocked. Like it doesn't really matter that much because Matthieu is already waiting for this critical tile over here to release 2 or potentially even 3 other meeples of his. So really, I think it's gonna be this with the end result that Martin is gonna go for. Anything else, I would be like I could understand it, but I would be rather surprised. Martin has this clearly decided that this is the time to burn some of his time bank. With 19 points on the scoreboard, so plus 11 there with currently a winning battle for the city with plus 12, plus 7, plus 6, 3. Yeah, does decide to just take the 2 points and not use up his meeple. Now we'll see if Matthieu is eager to make this move or this move, and he decides to go for the restriction, which I'm not entirely sure about. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only 2 curbs remaining in the deck. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get the fact that it does give a meeple to Martin, and doesn't give a meeple back to Matthieu. But still, like both of his monasteries are depending on this square, and it could be painful, painful stuff for Matthieu if he is to not get these meeples back. Well, this is an interesting move. So finds a vanilla, uses it onto his city, drops a farmer to prevent a farmer going over here by Martin, but like in this instance, this whole thing doesn't really work as well as I think Boylum thinks it's gonna work, because this square is not blocked yet, and because Martin has 2 places to use the dagger to, this will now be always the number 1 priority to use the meeple to, or to use the dagger to, simply because it doesn't give anything back to red. So blocking this square is going to be the utmost importance for Matthieu as of right now. Green's farmer was a mistake. Huh? This one? I don't really understand why. Like, I really don't. Like, it had great potential. And still has. Red farmer, okay. Yeah, now it makes a bit more sense. I mean, I can understand like why you would go there, but with 1 meeple, I think you might want to just wait a little longer. However, Matthieu does get the monastery blocked, so now there might be actually a case where Martin goes here with a dagger, and I would actually assume that he will, because it only gives 6 additional points to this farmer, and this meeple is gonna get, well, actually, yeah, 6 more points to this farmer, and he's gonna get the mule back for 3 points, so it's gonna be -3, but a meeple back, and a meeple is gonna be way more than 3 points worth. Now, the fact that there are no meeples indeed in Matthieu's hand is a massive issue for him, as he has lost already at least 4 points, well, actually 7 points as a result of that. 11 points, and actually no, this is the vanilla that he actually needs. So finally a meeple back to Matthieu's hand, but at what cost? Now has the meeple stuck at a 6-point field, really depending on whether Martin goes over here or not, and with the field now being at 15 points, I can easily see a situation where Matthieu goes over here with a second meeple onto the field and then completes the city of Martin himself. Like, that's a very potential idea as of right now. Now it is kind of hinging due to there being other possibilities to attack the field over here. Oh, and there is now the 8-point monastery spot, which of course is also depending on the dagger. So really only Martin can use this spot, and it's gonna happen either when Matthieu goes for a second farmer, or maybe in some instance Martin is gonna go here himself, although I very much doubt it. Plus 10 on the scoreboard equal here, plus 11. This is 8 versus 8, so plus 12, plus 13, plus 15, plus 9, and then 6 and 6, and so plus 18 is Martin at the moment with 12 tiles to go, with equal meeples, and well, this monastery is dead. There are not enough curves to go to both spots, which I think was therefore a large mistake actually by Matthieu. I think he should have directed the city cap to the right, because there were still 2 daggers remaining in the deck. Oh, well, there are 2 daggers remaining in the deck versus 1, 2, Uh, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, there are no curves at all. Never mind that. There are no curves at all. Um, so this is stuck. This is stuck, and this is stuck. And mind you, the crossroad still has not been drawn by red. Still hasn't been drawn, and it's been like 40 tiles. Like these meeples have just been dead in the water here for the entirety of the game, like 3-1, and Matthieu has been like paralyzed because he can't do anything with only one meeple. $11 tiles to go. Like he has to attack this field um, at some point. Like he just has to, right? And he has to get the dagger to also get this guy in. So which means that the dagger has to go over here, and it's gonna be placed by Matthieu at some point. But actually, I think yeah, you see, like it is really tricky though with the timing, because like if you go here, drop a farmer, or if you go here and drop a farmer, like what Martin is gonna do, he's just gonna equalize and drop to the other side a farmer. So what Matthieu needs to hope for is like going over here. He has to drop a farmer. He has to hope that that Martin doesn't get a road tile to drop a farmer himself. Then we have to like kind of block to either block off this entrance or get the get the dagger immediately. Then we have to get this final crossroad, which there still is one, right? 1, 2, 3. Yes, there is still one, but like the time window, it's just like it's just closing in, you know. It's closing in. 8 tiles. 8 tiles, and yeah, at this point, it's just like not only about the uh, like getting these meeples back, it's also getting the correct tile sequence and getting this tile like early enough so that you still have even a possibility to use the rest of your meeples that get liberated from here. One of those should be going like onto this road for like 7 points or 6 points, whatever, and one maybe for the monastery here, and then one onto the field. Yeah, like it's a lot of stuff that needs to happen for Matthieu. And actually, if you are Martin, maybe you just go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, yeah, there are no vanillas. What I think, like a clear winning move here for Martin would be just to go over here and drop a farmer onto the upper side, because it then takes away the possibility, all possibilities from Matthieu to drop a farmer on the lower side and to connect 2 farmers at the same time via the dagger. Yes, Martin goes here and he does exactly the upper part, which I believe is very, very much close to being the game-winning move. Wonderful find here by the Czechian player. So now plus 12, plus 20, plus 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 35, 29, 30 equal 31, 33, 30, 27, like, yeah, plus 20 or so for Martin. And Matthieu is trying to do things, but he's trying to score big time. And he actually, wait. No, but there just aren't enough tiles. No, there are, because he can get. I was about to say he can get the dagger here, another dagger here, get actually like 18 points and then something. But unfortunately, he doesn't get enough tiles or enough of the city caps quickly enough. Now the dagger is finally there, and he should take these 10 points. But even like he can't even go here now, and the dagger even goes to Martin, who is gonna go here. Like it's just a no-brainer. Yep, finishes the city for 3, another city for the field for 6, takes away these 6 points for 12, so a 12-point move. Actually, no, a 9-point move, because he doesn't score what the city twice, but a 9-point move, an extra meeple for Matthieu, which he cannot use, and would you look at this situation here? 40 moves or 50 moves. Those meeples were traps on this square, and it wasn't even a high impact square, and it just entirely and utterly destroyed Matthieu's game. Yeah, that's why you don't go for very short roads so eagerly. That's why you just pre-build roads or pre-build stuff in general next to your monasteries, especially when you have multiple meeples already trapped on those squares. If Matthieu got the last dagger, he had a 15-point field and in the bottom. 15? Wait, what? So we go here and then... Oh! Wait, this field. No, but then it just gets blocked with this. Well, okay, let's say that Martin doesn't see that. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 15 points. So Martin does whatever he can, goes here. I don't know. Doesn't get a 9-point move. We get plus 15 to like 80, and well, actually, yeah, that is a win then. But it's only a win if Martin doesn't see the idea of the 15-point field. It only works then. But you can always hope, which is actually, yeah, I didn't actually notice it at the time, but this move right here seems to be quite ingenious by Matthieu of actually setting up the double dagger moves to actually allow him a win in some cases. Yeah, nice spot by Matthieu, but unfortunately he took quite a large beating onto his winning chances early on by investing on those very short roads for unnecessarily. And now he's gonna be at a must-win spot, as if he loses the second one, of course the match will be ending. 0-1 for Czechia. And we already have some attacks on cities. We also have a nice looking field of 3 points, but room for growth for these two cities and some green squares. Going to be almost for certain a nice feature to have. Then do we go here? And I believe yes. We can also go here, prevent a meeple onto the field, but given that both of these cities come with a farmer anyway, with a city cap, if Martin has such in hand, I think we should prioritize this over here and take away the triple cities with the road, and also the road Doritos, and also the quad city from Martin, that he would be able to go over here and restrict this square into a quad city, which would certainly be just absolutely painful for Matthieu. Yep, I think this is a fine move. Also, the final dagger with the right-hand side curve is out of the game, and I'm sure that yeah, well, this is nice. This is a nice compensation for sure for this city. Yeah, I am almost certain that Matthieu was also considering a move like this with a curve going over here and then blocking towards the dagger. Fortunately for him, he didn't go for it, given the sequence that hit. And Martin doesn't really have immensely great moves. He goes for a continuation of his city, which is fine. This city is quite difficult to block, actually. There are still all three starting tiles, all three daggers, and actually also all three city crossroads. So actually every single city cap with a road is still available for Martin. Straight road for Matthieu. Maybe we just go here, although it would allow the easiest save of the entire mankind. Or we go over here and we put some pressure on the more prevalent square, which is what Matthieu ends up doing. We could go here, make another field, and yeah, we could go here, direct the city cap towards to the right, and drop a farmer. It will set up a road monastery, but it will actually work in our favor because yeah, like look at this. We go here, we drop a farmer, then Martin is gonna go over here or over here and drop a farmer, and then we go with the third people over here or over here and drop a farmer, and we can see that well, this is kind of unfortunate timing to get the road monastery, but it's fine. So what I was about to say was that Martin is that Matthieu is just gonna go over here and drop a third farmer, and it works to our advantage. The fact that there were an odd number, sorry, an even number of attacking spots left to the field with the two road monasteries, because we will always be the one to use the other. Especially when Martin took the field from this side. Now then, the road monastery is drawn, and Matthieu actually self-restricted himself into a vanilla, which yeah, which I really don't like. Like, why would we take away a wonderful a wonderful monastery spot from ourselves? Like, I can see that there could be like a straight road going here or a curve and a third farmer from Martin, but then this doesn't really like defend from it, because this also creates a possibility to go onto the field just from another spot, and we self-restrict our monastery, which we do fortunately get the vanilla very early on, and we should just naturally use it over here. And do we meeple their city? Yes, yes we do. Because there are still a very plentiful number of different types of tiles that are suitable for us. Even though all the daggers have gone out, it's still fine, kinda. Because there are other tiles to go here, and we can always just use like road Doritos and field Doritos, stuff like this. Well, this is rather unfortunate and annoying restriction coming from Martin. But so we have now two options. We can either go on this side, yep, specifically on this side. Matthieu knows his stuff because of the dagger asymmetry. So there are no daggers with the right hand side curve, but there are still two daggers with the left hand side curve, to which we can now get restricted to, but we cannot get blocked. There are also a number of other City Plus Road tiles, more specifically City Plus Road caps left in the deck. So still one starting tile and all three City Crossroads are still remaining in the deck. So we still have like 6 tiles to go here, which is just great. Now, unfortunately, we kind of do need the same tiles to go over here than we need to go over here, but that's fine. Now, the issue with this is that when Martin gets the city finished, if he does, it's gonna come down with a farmer, and then we have to use some stuff over here to try and shield off the attack, or maybe over here and here. And actually, when we use stuff over here, it's gonna leave. Well, in the optimal setup, it's gonna leave actually a starting tile hole over here, which will then possibly be taken advantage of by Martin by going over here with like a road tile and dropping a farmer, which is unblockable. But it's only one tile, so. And I'm also getting like kind of way ahead. It still requires like 1, 2, like 3 and 4 tiles at least in a very short order. Monastery for Martin started 1 square to the left of his previous monastery because he doesn't want to get restricted into a starting tile over here. Could have actually, what I think what Boylum should have considered was just going over here with a farmer. No? Because when Martin now has still the chance to complete this city, it's gonna come down with a farmer. I can guarantee you that. There is gonna be a farmer. Only one dagger left. Wait. Oh yeah, because there are still one and 2 here. Okay, so one dagger left, but it's still fine. The point being that this was not fully blockable, except of course actually with the dagger itself. But it's fine. Okay, do we go here? It's a juicy looking road for 6 points, but then the scare of the city getting finished and Martin dropping a farmer to then almost an unattackable field except via like ninja farmers. It's a really scary thought. We could also go just over here. We could still drop a farmer. Okay, well there's the road, so it does get taken. But the issue here now is that in order to really restrict this, we need actually, well, this is first of all a wonderful tile, but we need a crossroad to really restrict this, in the best way. Because otherwise we also get trapped with the road. But actually, in this instance, it's not really an issue because we will be winning a mini battle and we are ahead in points. And our situation, especially after the dagger, and actually mainly because of it, it's very good. Now field the sequel, we have 2 roads, from which if we get a road end, it's very important that we finish this road, not the other. Because if we finish the left road, then we are going to be providing a possibility for Martin to go over here and drop a farmer and connect either via finishing the city or via this road. Whereas if we finish this road, it's going to be considerably harder for Martin to drop a farmer and be successful in getting the third farmer to the field and finishing the city. Yeah, well, this is it's a move which didn't cause harm immediately, but it could have cost dearly, 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 dearly for Matthieu. Because like this is exactly the kind of stuff, like exactly almost what I was talking about. Like if we finish the road, we finish this road, not this road. But it also applies to continuing the road, because exactly the same things are gonna be then an issue. So we continued the road over here, and then Martin could get like a curve, go over here, drop a farmer, disrupt our roads, save the city, and all of a sudden our position is really not looking all that great any longer. So this is kind of a big fumble, this road Dorito right here. But we haven't gotten punished for it just yet, and we also got away with both of our roads, which is quite lucky actually. Now then, for Boylum, we can just take 2 points, or we can go over here and try to block off this farmer, which is unsuccessful as the curve hits on the very next turn. Well, now we have 4 meeples in hand, but we are losing on the field 3-2. The good news are that the field is currently only worth roughly the point difference on the scoreboard. It's like just slightly more. The bad news are that we are losing the field. So now after the field we are at -4, -7, -5, -13 with 3 extra meeples. This is a good move. So it creates more field attacking possibilities. However, this is not the tile that we can take advantage of those, but we can create even more field attacks. Unfortunately though, Matthieu goes for the city, which I kinda don't like. Okay, well, it is an understandable move. So we continue our city and we drop a farmer, which is very much needed, sure, but we only now have 1 tile to go over here into this square. There's only 1 road Dorito remaining. Now I can understand that we of course need to attack the field with quite epic urgency, because there was only 1 good field attacking square, which was this. But are we okay with a ruin? +6, +12, +9. plus 10, plus 2. We are now only at plus 2, but we are still with a meeple advantage. Plus 2 and a meeple. And if we keep making the threats, then sure, we can be fine. Now, what I am kind of worried about for Matthieu is the fact that there could be like a straight road going over here and a fourth meeple going to the field via the road of Martin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 2 crossroads remaining. And it's totally viable due to the quad crossroad being gone for Martin to go here with either a curve or with a straight road or with like a starting tile, whatever, and to drop a farmer on like his penultimate tile, and there might be like absolutely nothing we can do to it. Like the possibility is always there, right? For now, Martin takes 3 points and does make the completion of the city considerably more annoying at the very least. Now we have this 2-tile combo of both city crossroads that we can use over here, or we can use a city crossroad and a starting tile, whichever way around. Ooh, ooh. But look at this. We can also use a starting tile or a city crossroad over here and drop even a farmer. Then I have 2 tiles to connect that farmer through the city, finish the city, or just connect the farmer from the left side. This would be wonderful. It would be absolutely wonderful. This is a nice move by Boylum, so it actually takes away the possibility of attacking the field via the crossroad, of course. Martin with one of the 2 remaining city crossroads. Now he has multiple options. He could go over here and try to go for a 10-point city, which looks very juicy indeed, or just these 4-point roads, which is also nice and doesn't lose the meeple for even for a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Still 4 city caps. I think I would have been very tempted to just go for the 10-point city. What about Martin pre-finishing Red's big city with a farmer for content with the city cross? I was briefly considering that, but I don't think Martin needs to do that. Because there might actually be a possibility like where this gets finished and Matthieu loses the field but wins due to the city points. Like maybe this gets finished for like 10 points, drops a farmer, I don't know, something like this. Yeah, I don't think Martin needs to do that stuff, especially if he keeps getting quick points. And now this city is actually impossible to complete any longer. There are no tile combinations to do that. And the final meeple of Matthieu has been used. Takes the 5-point city, which is still completable. There are still 2 city caps remaining. One is the final city crossroad, and one is something else. Could be, and it is actually the second divider in the deck. So it's still completable. Now the bad news are that Martin can now just abandon this city cap to anywhere. Actually, here is a kind of decent spot because then he has a use for the city crossroad. The city crossroad and the divider, and he can just make possibly even a 9-point field, or he can just go over here and leave both city caps empty, or maybe going over here which is certainly something that I would like. Given that Boylum has to use at least 2 tiles before he can get a meeple back in any case. Yeah, I like this a lot. I like this a lot. It creates 2 chances for Martin to attack the field in case he would ever happen to need the attack. But I kind of doubt that he does. He's +5 on the scoreboard. He is +8 with the road, +16 with the monastery, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, +11 with this, +10, +6. He's only -2. But let's say Matthieu gets 2 city caps, finishes this, then we might actually need to attack the field. So why don't we go over here and create the chances of actually just, just claiming 6-point city, 4-point city, but also just attacking the field in case we ever need to do that. I think it would be the most prominent of plans. But the Czechian is having an ample amount of time to think about this. Still 4 minutes in his clock with 7 tiles remaining. It's a good amount to solve the end games. Now the big thing is that Boylum really can't score almost anything without the city cap. He's gonna need at least the city crossroad to do anything, because there aren't even like road ends enough. Well, actually there are. There is one. Oh, no, wait, no, there isn't. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, yeah. Actually, Matthieu cannot do anything without the city crossroad, because he needs it on the road itself and also onto the city. So even with like a double curve and this, it only leaves then 1 tile for Matthieu to do anything with on his final turn, and that's not it just isn't gonna be enough. Like it's just not. So I think it's just this. Because when we go here, we like for Martin, we have at least 3 quick 1 tiles. We have the Road Monastery, which goes over here, and we finish our previous one, or we have the city cap, or we have the other city cap for 6-point city or a 4-point city, and it's just super good. Well, Boylum does get the 1 city cap, which has to go over here. It just has to. And it does go, and Martin breaks the city, and now it will no longer be completable. Martin is going to be down by 4 points, but that's totally fine. That's totally fine, because there are features to claim 4 points, 5 points, or more. No, 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 no. What the fuck is this? Oh, are we giving some ideas of comeback? Oh no, no, Martin, you didn't have to do that. You did not have to do that. How many times do you have to connect? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are no curves. There is one. Yeah, there is one. Well, there is this. There was this, but it's no longer there. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh, but there are 2 Doritos. That's why Martin goes there. There are 2 Doritos, and it was actually impossible for Martin to not get over here after already after when this tile was drawn. Actually, well, so there was, wait, hold up a second. So there was this tile by Boylum. Yeah, well, it was unlikely for Martin to not connect, because there was 3 tiles to go into the square, and Matthieu would have needed to draw every single one. Well, almost. There was a possibility. Actually, no. Wait a second. Did Boylum fumble? Because wasn't this Matthew's tile with what he could have gone over here to create the blocking platform and then go here with the monastery and block the connection? Now just hold up a second. Just hold up a second. I think it must be so. Like there's no other tile that was there. Was it just a straight road? Was this not Matthew's tile? Let's take a little look-see. Well, let's first of all congratulate Martin for the 2-0 win, for his opening win in this league stage, and now both of these players are at 1 win and 1 loss. Yeah, Extender might have very well been played by Green. You might be right on that. I think it was just the straight road and the what's it called? The monastery for Matthew. But let's why am I going into my own game history? That's not supposed to happen. Let's go here. And let's go to like 100 and something. 100 and I don't know 30. Oh, that might be too long already. It's not. Okay, so yeah, straight road and then extender was played by Martin indeed. Yeah, and then yeah, because without city tiles, we don't even have a possibility to do anything about this. And I think correctly so, we are just getting our meeple back to just to get those like couple extra points, but unfortunately without having the option, the possibility to even get any sort of platform over here to over here to try and block the city, or to try and block the connection. Yeah, there wasn't really anything that Matthew could have done with this sequence of tiles. But like, I still not sure about this attack, whether it was like absolutely worth it, although it seemed to have had quite a decent chance to indeed be successful, like at least, I don't know, 60% at the very least, um, with 3 tiles and limited availability on the blocking platforms for Matthew. But like, he was at -3, right? So if he just goes over here, then this city will never get finished. These tiles can get a meeple back for Matthew, but at what cost? By then we have already taken points um, as Martin from other sources, and yeah, I think there was like certainly multiple paths to victory here for Martin. God damn. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff for the Czechian fans. Let's take a look at the future matches of these players. So going over here to the leagues stage, and one for a Boylum, So Boylum's future opponents are Santi Blader. Is that Santiago Iniguez? Um, Maybe. Then we have Esteban, and we have also Fabian. Yeah, kind of looking like Matthieu is gonna be a bit of an underdog in almost all of his matches, maybe, or maybe even all. Maybe maybe Matthieu is like the black horse of this tournament. And then for Martin, we have against the same opponent, well, against Esteban, against Alexei, oh boy, on his final week. This is gonna be pretty difficult for Martin. Something that he would, well, I guess, kind of dream of winning. I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't have a chance, but he's gonna be a big underdog against the Golden Meeple himself. And then against Meeple over People, which should fall into Martin's favor, I believe. And given his current record, I believe that unless Martin has 3 wins by the end of the 4th week, he will have he will have a very difficult time of trying to get the 3rd win. But we'll worry about that later. For now, the Czechian fans can rejoice of this week's splendid victory of their countrymen. And for the future matches for today, we don't have anything anymore. For tomorrow, we will be starting we'll be starting the day off with Xiang Yujin versus Helge at 10 a.m. UTC, and then we have a bunch of matches all the way from 16 UTC to 19 UTC starting, which currently have no takers as of right now, but they probably will by tomorrow. So we shall see what we cover after this match, if anything. Okay, and a lot of matches for the future days of this week, which is good to know in advance. But for now, we don't care about those all that much. We live one day at a time. That's going to be it for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in all the way until the end. And if you did enjoy this type of Carcassonne content and would like to see more of it, then there is an easy way to support the channel by subscribing, by liking the stream, or by leaving a comment in the comment section in case you are watching the stream afterwards. I'll be seeing you very soon with some more Carcassonne content. Bye for now.